All right. Thanks very much for being here and clicking play on this YouTuber conversation with Daeodon. My name is John Williams and I'm the owner and operator of whatwasthatradio.com. And What Was That Radio is all about new music discovery and further bringing together a community of musicologists. Whether you like to dance to music, whether you like to dissect and know of the crucial context behind the creation, you're a musicologist. Everything that whatwasthatradio.com earns is split 50-50 between myself, I do love chocolate M&Ms, and the community members who support me in the first place, whether that's paying for counselling sessions, music lessons, and especially with a focus on putting more money into the pockets of the musicians that we seek to elevate and appreciate in the first place. So, who are Daeodon? Their bio starts by saying, quote, a refreshing punch to the face. Daeodon's sinister hard rock hooks you in and hits hard, end quote. And a few months ago, they sent me their latest single for a little cheeky preview, and it is without doubt the best work they've ever put together. It's called Shapeshifter. So let's have a conversation with them and get to know about how this came to be. Oh, and I should say that I started recording just after I realized that Ryan number 1 was using Ryan number 2's still from the music video as a backdrop. Okay.
I definitely am smoked.
Did you know he was going to do that, other Ryan, or not?
He did it to me the other day, and I was like, "You're not doing that again, are you?" And he's like, "Fucking thanks for reminding me."
Yeah, he texted me right before the call. He's like, "Hey, are you using me as the background still?" And I'm like, "I totally forgot. I just had the blur background, but I'm definitely adding it back."
Oh.
So you did this to yourself.
The intent of that.
Which video is it from?
It's actually from the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, you've already shot it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I was going to throw a pitch in to be some sort of ghoul or dream or something. Because I know that, Ryan, you were so generous a long time ago and saying, would you ever be interested in doing something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that didn't line up. So selfishly, when I heard this song, when you emailed it, I was like, ask me for this one. Because this is this is without doubt the best song I've heard you all capture. As a drummer, I want to go straight to Adam, but as a drummer, I know that we'll get to Adam last. And
fair, totally fair.
First things first, really. I mean, Ryan's got some wine. Is it wine or blackcurrant or raspberry juice? What is that?
Cider.
Cider. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Well, let's just. How are you all? Alex, Adam, 2 Ryans. Where do you even want to start? How are you? Are you okay? Thanks for being so patient with this interview / really conversation shifting so much the last few weeks.
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, happy to be here.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, like everybody, obviously, living in a COVID world, so that's fun. But other than that, doing really well.
And what's it been like? Because I just want to focus on this song, to be honest with you. Where did it first start? What was the thought process? And was this pre-pandemic or during pandemic?
This was pre-pandemic. Yeah, so we were at a campfire, as where many great songs begin. We were just kind of jamming around a campfire at my dad's place, Adam and I just kind of thought of these cool jazz chords that kind of are used in the song. We brought it to the guys and kind of grew it from there.
Anyone else want to pitch in?
Yeah, so that's where it stemmed from, and the actual recording process happened during the pandemic in October. So it's kind of been a long time in the works for sure.
So then it starts from the chord idea, the playing around the campfire. Other Ryan, I'm presuming you're there in that moment. Did you have any inclination of where the story might go, or how do you approach it as a band? Is that how you typically write songs? You just jam out ideas from those stems and then try, or does Ryan bring a riff to the table and the other Ryan brings lyrics to the table?
So just to clarify, am I other Ryan at the moment? We usually go by proximity. So like close Ryan, far Ryan.
Oh gosh, well you're both Zoom Ryan, so we're scred.
Yeah. That's it.
I suppose I'll jump in because I did anyways. These guys, so Adam and Ryan brought the song to the rehearsal studio and we were jamming on it, and I heard it straight away and was like, wow, that's gold. Like, we need to do something with that. And we actually, I think it might have been that jam, maybe the next jam,
Yeah.
We pretty much had all the lyrics written. It was a song that we kind of we got in the studio, and it just happened, and I guess I don't know, we dug deep and it just came out so perfect. But I mean, we did perform this song pre-COVID, but I feel like throughout COVID, the song's taken on a whole new meaning. And shooting the video post-COVID as well has really done that. And I think it's, for all of us, there's just been a lot of self-evaluation through this time, and that evolution of each of us, and then to see the video and the song where it's come. Shapeshifter, the title is just like, it couldn't have been more relevant, and we had no idea at the time. So
yeah, whenever we write some sort of idea, we always just throw it into Google Drive so that everyone can kind of check it out prior to practice, or if like we show it at practice, we toss it in Google Drive. And we have like working titles or like working names that we just like, when we write a song, it's like, what do we think it kind of sounds like? And we just name it and toss it in there. So yeah, that was the same working title, which was kind of interesting. We just kind of ran with that as the inspiration for lyrics and stuff.
Right. So that initially then didn't correspond with the lyrical journey of the song at all.
Yeah, in a way, the working title inspired the lyrics, I guess.
And so, I mean, whenever I ask this question, because I love the context and the detail, I always preface it by saying that you can share what you wish to share. There's no expectation on my end, but I am fascinated by where the story of this comes from. And from that, I mean, that's the end of the sentence. Is there any elaboration on it, or do we want to leave it as mysterious and it just happened to blend with Shapeshifter? And at the same time, I don't think I can expect an answer in saying when Ryan, within Zoom proximity, sets it up like that. For me, in a nutshell, I would say that in the last 18 months, I feel like I've shed 100+ layers of my ego, from the changes that the pandemic has shown me and propelled me into massive life changes. I didn't think we'd be having this conversation now from the last time we all saw each other at Darcy's in West Shore without being where I've been for the last 10 years. I didn't think it would be under a new moniker, a new business of what was that. But I've learned so much about myself, and I've been through multiple breakdowns to multiple highs to you just got to keep pushing through the bullshit and the sludge. I found out very clearly who I can call a friend, who I can't call a friend. And I feel that, without throwing a blanket statement, many of us, in what you're alluding to, Ryan, within Zoom, some might be far or far, or might be close or close, is that we've all learned in our own individual ways what life means to us right now and what we're going to do moving forward. That's throwing a blanket, but I can't expect you to open up if I don't share. So again, you don't need to share anything about the song, but when you say you feel it shape-shifted, for lack of using the working title that became the fixed single title, in what sense did it shift?
Oh, wow, that's huge. I mean, honestly, I think everything you described and everything we've said thus far has really encompassed quite an emotion around everything. I think what you said resonates with me and probably everyone else listening to this. We've all experienced, trauma, and we've all had we've all been affected differently throughout this. But going back to the title of the song, I suppose it kind of started. Whenever I write any lyrics and I workshop lyrics with the guys, I always try and come from a very fantastical background and get inside the idea of a villain and hero, and I try to really delve into the characters as much as I can. And sometimes the guys even say, like, yeah, you can't put that in a song, or they have to censor me a bit, which I'm very appreciative of. But I digress. Basically, for me, the song started off fantastical, and it was delving into this idea of this creature that had just such an imposing effect on the individual in the song. And I suppose it's become more of a metaphor now for that shift. And from when we originally wrote the song and workshopped it to when we recorded, I guess it was probably a year difference. Like we recorded it during COVID, during the summer when things had, you know, opened up a bit, and we just were like, hey, we got to get back together, got to be a band, got to do this. So we did, just in time. And shout out to Silverside Sound and Malcolm over there. Amazing work. Holy crap. I'm so excited for this track. So excited.
Yeah, Malcolm did a great job. Great job on the track.
Amazing. But yeah, so the contrast of writing pre-COVID and then recording COVID and you know, semi-post-COVID recording the video or wherever we are now, you know, it's just, there's been so much evolution between all of us. There's been time apart. There's been like intimate conversations. There's been so much that's happened. But I don't know. I'm rambling now.
It's not rambling.
You know, I'm very appreciative to work with these guys. They're amazing. And like, I don't know, I've never been able to do this sort of stuff before them. So it's a huge deal to be working with them on this stuff, and really stuff that we're just really proud of.
And you're talking about Adam, Ryan, and Alex, or you're still referring to Malcolm and Lucas, who are just... Honestly, you're lucky to all be together, because what you've produced, I mean, look, we've known each other from in and around Victoria the last handful of years, in some cases with some of you through multiple projects. This band has matured like what I thought was a fine wine, but turns out to be cider that Ryan, in a far or close or somewhere in between, has been drinking during this. But it's sweet. And do you find, Ryan, that you always go down the road of, is it more non-fiction or fiction? If you've got protag, antagonist, do you base any of these characters on real life, or you do delve into the HR guy, go, holy crap, where is this going to go, Alien style?
All of the above. I don't like to limit myself. There's some other songs that we've been working on that, you know, hopefully we get to release at some point, that, you know, some of it's based on real people, some of it's fictional. I think we like to tell stories and take people on a bit of an adventure and, you know, help them feel.
Yeah, I think what's unique about this one is it often has that, you know, fictional element to it. This is the first one, for me at least, that's taken on a different meaning. It was a bunch of new meaning that came out of it through the video process, but also just throughout COVID, as we thought about it and kind of continued to play it remotely in our bedrooms. Yeah.
When do you release the video? End of May, was it, you said in the email, or?
It is Alex, right?
Yeah, so the single's being released May 14th. I don't know if we have an exact date yet for the video.
Okay.
But likely a couple weeks after that, I think we'd follow up with the video coming out.
And do you self-shoot it, self-storyboard, it's all you, or how'd you go about your videos?
Yeah, this one was all Ryan Lanchberry for sure, so I'll let him take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the filming.
That's why you've got the bloody stills, just to interrupt.
That's why I got the stills.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then Adam did all the storyboarding, a bit of the narrative, and then Ryan obviously was the star of the film. Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That works exactly the same.
Oh, Flip, say something, Ryan, and do it again. So because I've got Zoom on like whoever's talking gallery mode. Wait, recreate it now. You're on, Ryan, from near or far. Ready? Do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, say something while you do it.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so it was a super cool project. The you know, the writing and recording the music is obviously a whole creative outlet in itself, but I think we also really enjoyed the video aspect, which is a new area that we've done our own music video in the past, but not to this kind of extent of kind of thinking through the storyboard and all that. And I'm really happy with how it all turned out.
What can you reveal of it so far? Is it inspired by a certain horror? Is it horrible? I mean, my interpretation of the song is that it did feel like the demons of my last 12 months were all in the swimming pool with me, and I can't swim. That's a whole other story. But it felt like everyone was just there gathered around like, yeah, we're waiting for you to dip under. How are you going to dip under there? What are you going to do? How are you going to come back? How are you going to push yourself? That's what I took away from this.
There's definitely a water theme to it and talking about a struggle, an internal struggle, really, and I think that's how it kind of is conveyed in the video. Just kind of capturing the internal struggle, which is part of that transformation that I was talking about earlier. Originally, it started out with this lake monster attacking, some person in the woods, but as we thought about it more, it was like, well, really, we can make this song mean a lot more if we wanted it to, and the more we thought about it, just seemed to make more sense. So yeah, more about internal struggle, and that's where the communication comes through with the video.
Awesome. Let's start dissecting then, working with Malcolm and Lucas. You did everything in Lucas's joint, or you split between the two of them? And Alex and Adam. I mean, Adam, first off, well, I'm sorry, Alex, we'll jump to Adam because I got to say that is some of the most incredible drumming I've heard you do. That sounded like you spent an awful long time working on that, because for me, I mean, I haven't drummed in an awful long time, but I've said a long time a lot, but maybe 3 times in the last few seconds there. But I'm all about putting a certain energy through every single hit, single hit. And you drive that thing exceptionally well, man. How was that process for you? Was it arduous?
Yes. The writing of the drum parts was interesting because it went through a bunch of different just like a bunch of different parts that eventually then boiled down to what we ended up with. And then when we got in the studio, we hadn't actually been able to get together too much, obviously, because of pandemic starting. So you're doing as much practice as you can at home, but it's not the same as playing on your full setup, obviously, as you would know. So that was a bit interesting, because then I had just a limited amount of time to try and get comfortable again with the parts on the full kit, and then record them. And it took a few takes, but no, it was a really enjoyable experience. That studio is amazing. The sound that you can get out of there is incredible. That room is just mind blowing. And then Malcolm and Lucas drum teched for the takes, and so it was just always perfect to play on. And I got to try a few of their snares, which is lovely, because I've always kind of wanted I've wanted a metal snare for a while now. A few options come to mind, but that's a different conversation. We'll be here all day. Nerd it
out. No, man, nerd out.
Oh, I mean, I really would like, what is it? The Mapex Black Panther Wraith. It's Matt Halpern from Periphery's signature snare drum when he was with Mapex. What's that other one? I think it's Mapex, but it's the hand hammered brass snare drum, solid brass hand hammered. I love the sound of them. But when I was there, I got to use his DW Collector's steel snare, which was, I want one of those now too. But I sadly do not have the money. That would be lovely if we were able to be gigging regularly. Perhaps I could convince the band that's a good thing to next go in on, But
oh, nice! It's good to see that the whole band. I mean, for me, the best practice you can have is that the whole band puts everything back in the pot, because it's one for all and all for one. We can't move forward if everything doesn't click. And I asked that question in that sense, Adam, not in a derogatory tone, but because, as you addressed in the answer, there were no big practices before you did this. Mm-hmm. And I know that in previous years, whenever I've recorded, I've gone from practicing to the click on an electric kit, and pardon me everyone else, but we'll address with how the Ryans and Alex got into it too. There's one thing practicing by yourself on an electric kit to the click with stems that you might have that may be roughly demoed. There's another thing, taking all that mindset of the lack of connection, the shit everyone's gone through, the individual growth, and then come into a room as beautiful as the studio they've built up there and be like, oh, I sound good in here. And I know if I was in your position, I'd speed up by 10 BPM instantly. So that's what fascinates me about how you've all approached recording in this situation, as we'll run through you all after Adam.
Oh yeah, no, that as you when you say you'd speed up by 10 BPM instantly, that happened. That definitely happened. But it was actually interesting. We've always played this song one click consistent throughout. But when we got in the studio with Malcolm, he realized like, oh, well, that's actually better. It sits a little better if it's 1.5 BPM slower, or in this section, we're going to pump it just a little faster because you want to play it faster and it needs that energy. And I had never considered that kind of micro adjusting of the metronome by 1 or 2 BPM here or there throughout the song. And it makes it sit so much better when you are in the different sections. So that was, luckily, I got them to play the click nice and loud, so it was hard to ignore. But yeah, no, that definitely happened. The excitement of hearing yourself be like, especially with the mics they used and the Malcolm's mix, it was just incredible. It's how you want it to sound, but it never does when you're behind the kit with your headphones off. Yeah. But yeah, so it was a wonderful experience to be able to do that. And also Ryan Lanchbury had done a bunch of the stems for us. So what was a little frustrating for me about the whole process was I played along. I recorded first, and so I played along to the stems that we had, and then everyone else got to build off of my parts, and the song got to sound progressively better and better. And I'm super excited for how it's sounding, but I had to record it to the not this yet version of it. And I was just so jealous that everyone else was getting to record to this increasingly getting better song.
Yeah.
So so arrangement changed a little bit? Well, no, that can't have changed much at all if you were harnessing. I love when Malcolm goes into that. Let's just bring this one down by a step and a half, and then we'll triple the third chorus. And yeah, but that's not an impression of him, to be clear. In that sense, is Adam alluding to the fact that there was change in what how did it grow? I don't know. What do you mean by that?
We had the structure, and we did kind of make certain sections a little bit shorter in some cases, and we just edited. But I think Adam's alluding to just the fact that my scratch track that he recorded on was like a mono garbage track. It didn't sound very good at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it became Dolby 5.1, baby, and
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are creative choices that were made throughout that are just like super subtle, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I should credit Malcolm for this part right before the second chorus. There's those ride bell hits, ding 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 cap, ding 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 cap.
Yeah.
And at that point, that was written. Basically, Malcolm was like, "What about the ride? Go to the ride." I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure, we'll do the bell." And then and it kind of, as he said, and I definitely agreed, I kind of gave it a little bit of that like Alexis on Fire feel almost. Just thinking of This Could Be Anywhere.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. And I was like, yeah, that's the part that needs to be there. So, and yeah, other than that, everything else was written beforehand, but that's one of the main things that changed for me.
I try to stay away from comparing one band to another. It's clear that there are influences in all of us. You can't shy away from that. But seeing as though you said Alexis on Fire, I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, it's this. I could see you guys with Deftones. Bam, like straight away, like Deftones, Mastodon. I mean,
we were jamming a lot of like Deftones style stuff around that time, I feel.
Yeah. And those are my favorite bands that are all tattooed up and down my arm, the Deftones and Mastodon and Queens of Stone Age of this world. And I love, that's why the song for me, I was like, I'm pretty sure after I got that email, I messaged Malcolm before I messaged you guys back and was like, this has got your name written all over this shit. This is, why didn't you tell me about this? Which is, I'm just being a selfish asshat. But I mean, I was so excited by it. But Alex, you've been so patient. How with this, as we nerd out about flipping drums, how did this process go for you? And in contrast to Adam, what was it like for you?
I mean, it was good for me. I got to play to Adam's drums, so that was great. My job a lot easier. But yeah, it was a bit strange for me. I was having issues with the intonation on my bass and stuff, so I ended up tracking on a Thunderbird that was just in the studio there. And I usually play a 5-string, so I had to kind of adapt to playing in a different tuning. But other than that, I mean, the process went pretty smoothly for me. It's we simplified the bass line a little bit throughout the process. Realized just step back and let the focus be on Adam and Ryan. Makes sense to me.
It's just a mighty song. Everything's in its right place, and I'm just tremendously excited for what you all have in. I mean, I wish I could fund the next 5 songs. If everything continues to grow.
An option for that, if you like.
Yeah. 5 songs or 5 packs of cider. That's up to you, Ryan, from here or far away. I've listened to it probably 50, 60 times, 10 times today. I find myself putting it on every morning, and I've had a really hard time not that I have a massive audience, for goodness sake, but I just having a hard time not just throwing it on What Was That already, because it's one of my favorite songs of the last little while. I cannot get enough of it. It's so mysterious. It allows for so much space to put your own narrative into it. And I feel a lot of music tries to allow that space of self-narration, self-journey, doesn't quite hit the mark. But this one, yeah, as I described earlier, with that pool and demons in it and all around me, I felt I was looking back at all the growth I've made, and have I actually made it this year? Did you make any growth? Did you listen to it? So I think it's masterful. I'm really intrigued by the video. I'm kind of glad you didn't go for a Loch Ness Monster, because if it's your first foray into trying to make that kind of graphics, I mean, you.
Yeah, we don't have the budget for that. Yeah, our Loch Ness Monster would have been Alex in the lake swimming around with a log or something. Pretty low budget.
Yeah, Lanchberry though managed to do some pretty cool movie magic, I think, and we've come out with something that's definitely worthy of the song. So
yeah.
I'm really intrigued by this now. What do you use to do it? Are you Premiere Pro? Are you After Effects? What's your approach with it?
Yeah, our budget is super low, so we try to do everything apart from recording on just DIY as much as we can. We do all of our own graphics and all that stuff, and the video is no exception. So I happen to have been fortunate enough to get a pretty sick camera for a present, and that's doing most of the work for making it look really good.
Yeah.
I did some YouTube searches on how to do the transitions and cool things like that to make it more interesting. But as far as editing, I'm just using iMovie. We talked about using Adobe for a while, but I normally do an initial draft of the video or any content we're making and post it to the guys in Slack so they can check it out. And the draft was like pretty good. So they're like, why go through the hassle of putting it into Adobe? But I would like to kind of test with those tools in the future. I feel like there's much more customization. Yeah.
The camera clearly is slick as can be, because that shot behind you is so good. So good.
It's good.
Did you have to shave down the vampire teeth, or?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I also had to remove a bunch of the wrinkles.
It's an amazing photo.
I was born with those.
It's amazing.
It's really good.
I'm just jealous because I've got the overlapped English gappy teeth that look like they've been run over by a yellow submarine. I don't know. It's just they're all over the place. Shades of yellow in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking yellow submarine. I don't know why is it because it's just English default? I have to quote the Beatles in every conversation I have. Anyway.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I mean, where do you see? What do you want to happen with the band next? What do you plan? Are you taking it one step at a time with this? Are you galvanized and excited by the get back together in the studio and what you've created here? What do you want to do next?
I think next we're just going to be really focused on writing. This definitely set the bar a lot higher for us. So I think that's going to be our main focus for upcoming. And obviously, when things open up, we'll be looking at starting to do live performance stuff again, but still a bit TBD on that.
That's what excites me on this song, is that I know you can play it live. Like I know you can smirk and smile right now and go, well, there are 58 layered guitars in this fucking song, but I know you can play it live.
Actually, when we first started writing it, there's 2 sections in it. And normally we play in like a 5/4 beat or a 4/4. But this time we were like, let's do 7/4. I think we were doing some other cover and there was 7/4 in it. And so that in the break, right after the first chorus, there's a 7/4. And then at the very end, it's again a 7/4 beat. And that was the most challenging thing for me personally. Adam had it down, I think, but I was like on the struggle bus with getting it like in the correct rhythm. So yeah, it was definitely challenging to play. We've got it now. But it was hard. It's hard to get there.
When we lock in on that though, holy shit! Like in the studio, whenever we played it live, as soon as that riff comes out, everybody's looking. And like if we're in the studio, we're all looking at each other. You just feel it, right?
Yeah, it's a headbanger for sure.
Yeah, big time.
Well, the end is actually really easy for me. You guys are playing in 7, but I'm just doing 4/4 that puts it on the offbeat on the second rotation. I'm just playing money beat at the end with a little great.
The old
Just
Adam
China
money
symbol.
beat. Money beat there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want 2 money beats? Okay. I want to listen to it again right now. That's really, as far as I just wanted to hone in on this track and just really nerd out about this track, because it is the best thing you've made. And it's amazing to look back at the growth that you've gone through. Again, look, I'm no messiah of fucking anything. I just am a really passionate lover of music, and having watched you for the last handful of years and having had great connection with you all through, always sending things and trying to work towards different projects, you've always stayed true to what you're trying to do, which is the most important thing. I mean, from my time in radio, a lot of bands just try and create what fits a system that is nothing to do with them. This is the Daeodon that I saw within, and now with working with Malcolm and yourselves, what you've done here, like, this is just, I cannot say enough how exciting this song is. It instantly stands out. I search personally, again, not the be all and end all of music, I add 300 songs a week to What Was That Radio, and this jumped above my last 2 months, and I'm searching hundreds of blogs around the world, all different genres. Yes, particularly rock and the heavier rocks. That's what I love. But this is going to hit so many. It's just a case of getting it organically into their ears. It's tremendously exciting. I cannot pump you guys up enough in saying you should be so proud of this, because it is the best thing you've done and one of the coolest songs I've heard in a long time, because it's so organic and not forced, and it's ready to be where it's at, and it leaves so much mystery. You're not trying to be what you're not. You're not pushing for that extra vocal, that third that you can't hit before. You're staying like the BC Lotto. No, you're going to play within it. But there's a lot to be said to that. So it's outstanding.
Well, thank you, John. I mean, speaking personally, it's an honor to be on a radio interview with you, and just even have you listen to the music, because Adam and I'm sure Alex did as well, grew up listening to you on the radio. So to have this opportunity has just been fantastic.
Jesus,
so
I'm not that old.
Thank you enough. You're not that old, but you started young.
Neither am I, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan grew up in Australia. But yeah.
No, well, I really appreciate that. I just really want to play it, guys. I just wish it was May 14th already. Did you say May 14th, Alex? I forget now.
Yeah, May 14th is the date.
Okay.
I mean, it's May 14th somewhere.
I mean, I guess we could, I don't know. We haven't had our band discussion about this. Featuring
totally
it anywhere.
Yeah, let's just have the discussion right now.
Okay. Are we doing thumbs up, thumbs down, or what's
thumbs up?
What was that radio exclusive for 2 weeks?
If John wants,
all right,
go for it.
I'll play it every day. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's really, really great, and it's going to stand out for all the right reasons.
Honestly, that's the you've just given us the biggest compliment we've ever received. So I think at this point you could ask us to do almost anything.
No. Well, you can keep the cider because I'm 2 years sober, but if you could fix my naturally oily head from shining in the lights with some baby wipes every 5 minutes, that would be appreciated. And that's all hard sarcasm. No, I love music, but I mean, you're very generous. That's when I was saying about the shedding of ego. You know, I always said when I worked at the Zone that I was very fortunate to have that job, and it was for me to work hard to retain it. And I chose to walk away from it for many reasons that we won't dive into now. But I'd say the number one was I felt a lack of the chance to grow, and I had so much more to offer that certain people in the organization didn't want to open doors to that. That's fine. Again, know your limit, play within it. So I knew my limit and played within it. So I left it. Simple. The world's gone through an awful big change. It felt like now was the time to put a cap in 10 incredible years of growth. I would not be able to do what I'm doing now without having worked there for 10 years. But perception is everything. I think I'll finish in sharing that what I've learned a lot is that the narrative that one can build for everything around them can be a very fascinating and equally dangerous thing. I think the perception of what I was doing was misread a little bit here and there because no one's in our own heads as an individual. So, you know, what was that is about bringing together people that want to elevate music, want to learn of new songs that excite them tenfold every single week, and most importantly, want to put back into that community. So with everything being split 50-50, the What Was That Foundation has $6,000 in it right now. And that's going to be, I haven't announced it yet. I think by the time this video goes live in and around the release of the single, the What Was That Music School will be announced. And there will be grants worth up to $5,000 for people to apply to between 13 and 21, because I'm focusing right now on the school districts and universities cutting programs here on the island to do with music and performance. And I'm telling you all right now that when the next 5,000 is raised, because obviously half of it goes to me to eat M&Ms and to exist and pay for the internet to have this conversation with you. But when the next is raised, I promise you all that What Was That will be giving you a grant of a yet to be decided number, at least $500 to go towards your next recording, because what you've created is outstanding and you need the next step. So please allow us to help.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to turn my camera off. Wow. Oh. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
So you got to keep me in the know with what the plan is, and we will be putting money directly into recording sessions. And so I will trust, as I do with any donations we've made, that you will utilize it in the fashion agreed upon. So this won't be, I sound like my granddad, this won't be for your PlayStation, and it won't be for your beers and your ciders, right? This will be going towards recording sessions. And if that means that it covers the cost of a day of drum tracking, then that's what it's there for. I'm deciding on behalf of the community. Usually we talk about this a lot and they've not heard your song yet, but I know that they'll back me up with this because we all decide as subscribers where it goes. And I would like to put 500 guaranteed into your next recording sessions. Whenever that is, you just got to keep me in the know with it and I'll send it.
That's 100% going to drum tracking, by the way.
We're going to need an extra day because you keep changing the beat by half and this. And the tempo's changing every 2 flipping bars.
Yeah.
No. And that's really all I'd planned. I mean, I don't want to go down the road of, I know Liz in our community will be desperate to know a bit about the name, where it came from, what it means. Because again, we're all musicologists, and I know Liz would be upset that I don't ask that question. Liz being an incredible subscriber and community member and moderator on our Discord, for example. So what is the history behind the choice of name? And I think that'll be the last thing that I ask you all, really.
The band name?
Yeah, the band name, yeah.
What was, I think, Ryan, do you remember the actual literal translation
Yeah. So I assume you're talking to Ryan on the far left. Yeah.
You know, as long as one of the Ryans answers, I wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got together. We're thinking, oh, we want to play some stoner rock, some metal, some stuff like that. We're trying to think of names, and it took us a long time to actually settle on a name that we were happy with. And Daeodon came up, and we were kind of looking into the meanings of Daeodon. And originally, we were just kind of looking up gnarly beasts and things like that. And this Daeodon came up. It's like a prehistoric pig that looks like a giant rodent. It's crazy. But it's also Latin for dreadful teeth, which I thought was very representative of like a villain. And from a lot of the songs at the beginning, as I mentioned, I generally like to focus on the villain first in the story, because I think the villain is very interesting and has a lot more has a far more complicated story that really could be worked out far more. I mean, we've all seen lots of films that start to explore those sorts of things, but I like exploring that idea in songs, and I think the other guys do too. And yeah, working from there and then kind of basing your protagonist from that, I think, is a really interesting way to frame it. But then obviously writing a song loosely enough so that it can have multiple meanings. So it, like, some songs do go through multiple revisions because we don't necessarily want all of the meanings on songs to be super apparent.
And actually, the last thing I'll add on to that then is, do you find, so you go song by song, you don't try and stitch out and intertwine songs into a larger picture, you just go one at a time?
Yeah, we tend to go song by song, and we'll write several songs and try to group them into what kind of sounds cohesive or sets. Our first album was just like, this is the songs we have. But I think the next set of songs that we're currently writing will be more intentional in that way, because we've evolved.
Yeah, big time. Life is growth. Life is lived experience, and through that, it's growth. Well, I'm just so thankful for all four of you for, again, moving and shifting with me across the last few weeks. And it's been a delight to catch up. Always awkward at the start. That's how it goes. We've not spoken in so long. We've not seen each other in so long. I've been so bubbled up that I, most of the time, don't know what a human being is. So it's as much me as it is anyone else. But no, I can't say enough that I am not the be all and end all of anything. But as a human being that lives and breathes music, this is such a cool song. And I'm so excited to see where you go. And I'm thankful for you allowing me to donate when we get to that point to help with that, because community, supporting each other and elevating each other, and instead of turning against each other or feeling that one's better than the other and there isn't space for two, no, there's space for all and everyone in between to go get it. And I'm really excited to be in your corner always, to help the best I can in any regard. Always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're here for you too. Definitely. Yeah, the friendship I think that we built over the years is it means a lot to us, and we really value you bringing us on today to talk to us. And yeah, I didn't think I was going to get all emotional like I did, but I guess I'm just amazed that something that we've been able to produce has touched someone in the way that it has. And I think that's one of my biggest takeaways today for me. So thank you for enjoying that, and thank you for being part of this, because you really have been a huge part of our journey. So thank you.
Well, that's kind, but you're all in charge of that. I've just been at different shows, and you've come over to me with a beer in hand and said, "Oh, I have a beer as well. Let's talk about music." Right? I'm not in the studio writing the songs and playing the guitar and detuning the bass and trying to learn how to use a 4-string over a 5, or that's all you. So we could sit here and throw back wonderful sentiment for the next half an hour to 3 days, and that would be awesome because, again, positivity is incredible, but you're all responsible for your own thing. Let's just listen to the song, for God's sake. Is that okay if we just listen to it?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
May as well. Hopefully this isn't ear-piercingly loud. Can you all hear it? Is it playing through? No? Classic. Classic. Let me just check what audio you've got coming through here. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, this sound card does my head in. So it's... You should hear it now. Let me start it again. Do you hear it yet?
Yeah.
You do now?
Yep.
Thank you, Roadcaster. Why is it stopped?
No, that's it. That's all you get.
Oh, Zoom is saying... Oh, Zoom doesn't like it. Cheeky.
Wow.
Cheeky. What do you mean I can't play music? I've done this before on flipping interviews. Come on. This is 2021. And stop interrupting this song. It's rude. Wow. Refresh. Come on, for God's sake.
I walk these woods alone, my body cold as stone. In the distant night, I see a cabin's light. I just might work my way inside. Maybe they can help. Then get me through the night. There's something in the lake. Oh, how my body aches. There's something in the
I'm saying words and you don't know what I'm saying, you fucking... Get a Chino screaming there in the back, you know? Oh, it's so good.
As I work my way in, the door reveals a grin. I see a scaly face with so much empty space. As I turn to run, a hand gets in the way.
What? Fuck.
just want to keep going, eh? Just like, just what? It stops. That's it.
Why to stop?
But that's the thing. Now you can add in like live extra bridge, that live extra that just goes on.
Keep it going. Bring it down. Bring it up. Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to go in the video that I end up putting on YouTube because there'll be two of me, but I just wanted to capture all of us reacting to that at the same time, which I can always send you separately. But what I just, in listening to that again, what I forgot to mention with Adam is that what I love about those is the push pull of that. So it feels like, okay, the creature's here and he's pulling me and I'm pulling back and what are you doing? Who's doing the backing vocals in it? Is that all Ryan? Close is the two Ryan? Yeah, I mean, it's for me when I text Malcolm, I was like, it's the best thing you've mixed, and it's the best song that you've captured as a band. Like, it's just for everyone involved, it's such an incredible piece of work. Oh, it's just so good. It's just so good. I fucking love it so much, so much. I really somehow hope that one day, there's a chance to have, like, I don't know, Deftones haven't been back here since they played the curling club right before I moved here, but can you imagine how cool it would be if like Mastodon and Deftones go on a tour and they're like, we need an opener in the old whatever the fuck Sugar Ballroom's going to be called in 3 weeks time. Daeodon. There's no one else. It's just next thing you know, I've got to add some other freaky deaky creature to my tattoo collection. That's, I mean, you can't really see the Mastodon guy there, but yeah, no, it's so good. Awesome. All right, well, let me get that back like that. All right, well, thank you all so much again. Lots of love to you all, and I've already said you know how I feel about it, so I'm not just going to keep saying it, but I love pumping tires, and I don't do it for the sake of doing it. Like, you should just all be so flipping excited for this. And I know you are, but don't lose sight. Like I always say to people that ask me what's one, it's just don't forget being a kid, and don't forget the thrill that you can get from the simplicity around you. And while this song is not simple, looking back at it and reflecting on it, could be simplified to one emotion, which is, you'll insert that there for me, exciting, really exciting. So don't lose track of that, as difficult as the next few days and coming months and years might be. You should be really proud of that.
Appreciate it. Thanks, John.
All right, I'll leave you all. Well, I've got to close this, and then you're all done. I was going to say I could leave you in here by yourselves to chat, but you can organize that yourselves.
Yeah.
All right, lots of love, everyone. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.